been on restricted or lockdown before, right? In the past, in your previous lifetimes, right?
Never. I've never been in restrictive housing because that wasn't invented because of the hell I had to go through before. I was never in a place called restrictive housing. I was in the hole.
Okay. Okay.
I was in the yeah, I was in the shoe. I was in management sales. Yeah, I was in horrible environments. I don't know what this restrictive housing business is
So that's
now.
what, but that's what they call it now,
Oh,
right? Is known as restricted, right?
yeah,
Called
Okay.
STRH, short-term restrictive housing.
yeah, short-term restrictive housing.
Okay.
And look, in my day when we put in work and we went to the hole, we knew what it was. You had a We still didn't really care, but the thing is, look, if you were a knucklehead, like you didn't give a fuck. You were just like, hey, it's what it is. Like I'm raising my hand, but I knew what was in store for me. We looked at it as a rite of passage. Go back there with the homies, get your shoe term, and handle your business. Now, these fools are getting off because they know that nothing's really going to happen to them.
Yeah.
These fools ain't got nothing to lose, and they're doing little fist fights, getting into, little bullshit ass fist fights out there in the yard. On the other yards, like these fools are walking around, they get into a fist fight and they walk around like they're the hardest on the yard. Little fist fight. Or they go to the hole and they act like, man, like they just came from some shit. You know what I mean? Like when they're kicked back out in 14 days,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I just came from the hole, homie.
Just did my chancla and I'm good.
Yeah, like, man. When I did my time too, they weren't suspending no shoe terms. Like it was hard to get a shoe term suspended. Like that was hella suspect. If you got a shoe term, like if you got kicked out of the hole early, you would probably do something to stay back there longer, just because how suspect that looked.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is all weird. You yeah. You know how they do C status now? You heard of C status?
I heard of it, yeah, but I don't know how they run it now.
So C status was if you get two 115s within a 6 month period,
Hmm.
then they'll lock you down. They'll lock you down on C status, which is it's basically you're just confined to your cell. You have a whole different program, and they'll take your TV and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what C status is here. But in my day, we had your two 115s. Like I never got 115s like that. My two 115s were both shoeable. So I got not only was I taken off the yard for each 115, but I got an indeterminate shoe for back-to-back 115s they were similar in nature, and I was already pulled for like some gang association stuff. I was pulled off the line, but them fools gave me an indeterminate shoe, and man, I freaking they would not let me out of the hole for the life of me. I was back there for years like that. It was crazy.
Man, I can't even say I could imagine
But
because I haven't
yeah,
been in a situation like that. But man, sounds rough.
it was rough, but the crazy part though is your state of mind though. You don't care. It's not. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like it's hard to even put myself back in that state of mind to where I thought that was acceptable.
Yeah.
Jesse, fuck, Jesse spent freaking years in the hole. This fool loves the cell now.
I actually welcome these little modified programs like
Yeah.
this. But it's the tablet uncertainty of the tablet sucks. But at the end of the day, as long as I know what we're doing, I 100% prefer this over constant movement. But only right now because it's hot and we can't get yard and stuff like that. Like when it's this hot, you really don't get a lot of programs. And but
I got a bunch of homework to do too, so
yeah,
That's what it is.
it's just like every once in a while because my days are so go that if they want to lock us down for 3 weeks, and modify the program, and I'm okay with that because it gives me a little time to decompress and do some self-care time and
Yeah.
yeah. And plus, like Dave said, I'm doing a class right now for the summer. Get that knocked out of the way. I program better when I know I'm going to be locked in the cell. Otherwise, I'm just kind of like on autopilot out there.
For sure.
But
Let me ask you something because Ms. Vero is asking, are you guys connected to Robert Cell? Can you guys get him on the vent? She wants you to wish him a happy Father's Day if you guys can.
Yeah.
Yep, will do.
All right, all
I
right.
will do it with Schwarzman. Yeah, I got it.
We got.
I'll call over to there.
I just saw
Call over there
Austin.
in a little bit.
I just saw Austin pop up on the chat. Hey, what's up? What's up, Austin?
What's cracking,
What's up,
Cal?
Dougie?
And we said, what's up? No, so, yep, that's the boy right there. I gotta tell you the craziest thing that happened the other day. The craziest freaking thing happened. So, Jesse gets up in the morning and he's like, hey, he goes, my side hurts a little bit.
Well, I had been up since 3:20.
Yeah, see, I didn't know none of that. I pop up and, I try not to look down. It's just a rule of thumb. When you've been down for a while, you don't want to like pop in. You don't want to pop over the bunk and see what your celly's doing. In the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It's just better not to. So if Jesse's up moving around and making weird grunting noises at 3 a.m., I just put the earbuds in, the earplugs, and I'm done. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess he's really into whatever he's doing, quote unquote. So I guess that night he was in pain, and he wasn't making no sounds or nothing. But I just get up in the morning and he's just like, my side hurts. He goes, hey, where's your appendix at? And I'm like, fuck, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's over here, but. He said, yeah, my side's hurting a little bit. So, Jesse's both of us were getting a little older, so, it's not uncommon for him to be in pain. Remember I was just telling you about when he went down with the kidney stone?
Yeah, I do remember
I
that.
was just
Yeah.
telling you guys that. Yeah, he was just like in agonizing pain, and he just suffered in silence. So, in the morning, he's kind of in pain. We go to breakfast, or he don't really go to breakfast though, but I go to breakfast and then I go to work. So when I come back from work, somebody hands me his watch, his chain, and his wedding band. And it's one of the boys right here. And I was like, he's like, hey, your celly's at the hospital. I was like, hey, what the hell? What do you mean my celly's at the hospital? He's like, yeah, that's what he just said to give you his stuff. So this Jesse don't go nowhere without his watch, his ring, and his chain. So for I was kind of like, that kind of worried me, But when you go to outside medical, they make you take that stuff off anyway, and they leave it somewhere. So it's better just to leave it behind with your celly, So anyway, this fool's gone for 2 days. 2 days, James. I was worried sick.
Yeah.
What was going on with him? 2 days.
Yeah.
This fool's gone. This fool shows up. This fool shows up 2 days later, just walking in the building like freaking, hey, what's up,
Yeah.
I was like, hey, what the hell happened? He's like, oh, I had surgery. They took my appendix out. Like, wait, what the hell? What the fuck you mean they took? And this fool's got he's got 2 holes in his stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Took his appendix out, fresh off surgery.
3 holes.
3 holes. 3 holes, James.
The belly button. They
Yeah.
cut it. They came in through the bottom, and they cut open the belly button. But they also did hernia surgery at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly
so I went
what.
out there. So what happened is, you had it.
Yeah. I'll share my story when you're done with yours. It's quite interesting, if you will.
Yeah. So basically, like 3:20 on Saturday. On Saturday.
Yeah, it's been that long.
No, Sunday. It was 3:20 because on Saturday afternoon I jump squatted the track with my boys and I was feeling like a little tenderness right there, but I hadn't done legs in a while, and so I was like, my sciatic's been tore up, so I was, I hadn't done legs in a while, but I was like, you know what, I need to do something, because I had jammed my finger playing volleyball, so I wasn't really doing anything on my hands, so I said, I'm gonna do my legs, and so I jump squatted the track and lunged the track, and I was thinking maybe I went too hard, because I felt some tenderness right there in my lower right abdomen.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, man. So then I get back to the cell, and I was like, it'll be all right later. So at 3:20 in the morning, I wake up and I'm in excruciating pain. I'm like, damn, and it's tender to the touch and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, what the hell's going on right here? And so then I'm up from 3:20 to about 8:30, 8:45. We go to yard. I go out to yard, and it kind of like takes my mind off of it. I actually even play handball and everything. We went out there to yard. What did we play? Did we play handball or we played softball? Or we did something. And
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Pretty much all we do out there.
Yeah. So we went out and played sports, and then we come back in, and I'm pretty much all right most of the day. and then like around 4 o'clock in the Saturday, my shit starts hurting again, bad, man. I'm just like, damn, like to the touch and everything. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Something isn't right. So then, so I put in a sick call slip that night. And I told him, hey, my shit's hurting, you know. And so the next day on Monday morning, they called me over there to medical. They felt it. They're like, hey, it's your appendix. We're going to send you to outside hospital. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I go to the outside hospital, and they did a CT on me. And in the CT, they came back and they're like, yep, your appendix is swollen. You have swelling around the appendix. We're going to put you on antibiotics overnight, and I'll let you know if you're going to stay for surgery tomorrow. Or because we caught it early. That's the good thing. I caught it super early. And they're like, we'll send you back if everything's good. But the next morning, the surgeon came in and was like, no.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
She said, we're going to do surgery. She said, there's a 30% chance that the antibiotics won't work, so why even take that chance given that you're in prison and he won't be able to come right back, and if something ruptures, it can go bad for you real quick.
Yeah.
And then she goes, you have an umbilical hernia also, since I'm going in right there. She goes, I'll go ahead and repair that while I'm there. And she goes, but there is another major concern. She's like, we found...
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
She said, I found a nodule on your lung and a nodule on your liver, so you're going to have to come back for a biopsy also.
Damn.
Oh, well, damn.
Yeah.
Hey, it's gonna hang up right now.
All right, for sure. We'll be waiting for you guys to call back. What up? Hey, I want to go ahead and say a shout out to Jake Not Loud. Thank you. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Hey, Jeanette. Yeah, for sure. If you send me a message, I'll go ahead and send you a detailed information on how you could get a hold of these gentlemen if you would like to. There's an app called GTL Getting Out. It costs 5 cents per message. Since if you're in Ireland, you guys don't use pounds, right? In Ireland, right? Because in the UK it would be 5 pence, if you will. In the US it'll be 5 pennies. Let me see. So if Silas, Jess, and David are happy, yeah, for sure. They're always looking forward to communicating with people around the world. So for sure.
This call is now being recorded. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
Wells.
un individuo
Wells,
encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela,
For sure.
Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Bueno. Jesse, David.
So that's kind of scary to hear. You know, like when he told me that, I was kind of like, what do you mean? Like, he's got a growth on his lung and one on his liver. And he's got an abnormality in his stomach that they don't know what the hell it is. That shit sounds scary as fuck to me. And I guess it's kind of like one of those things where you got to process it, process that information. But the thing is with us is we've been through so much shit, we get desensitized to pretty much everything. And we look at it like, well, that's pretty serious, but I'll be all right. But that's kind of crazy. So what I'm saying in my rational mind, probably so I don't panic, is this fool freaking, whatever happened with his appendix, it was like divine intervention.
Yeah.
Because his appendix was not that bad. It was swollen and like messed up, but it wasn't to the point to where a lot of people get where we hear the appendix goes and it's like you almost died.
Mm.
Yeah, it's usually 1.0 or greater to be diagnosed with acute appendicitis, chronic appendicitis, but mine was actually 0.09 in diameter where it had swelled up, but there was also swelling around the appendix. So that's why he wasn't sure if the surgeon was going to keep me or not. He's like, man, you caught it super early.
Yeah, every story you hear about, it was my appendix and the doctor said if I would have waited any longer, I would have died. How many times have you heard that, Jess?
Yeah, every time.
Every single time they say, if the doctor said that if I didn't go in when I did, I could have died.
Yep.
It's like, all right, so Jesse...
I should have came a little bit later.
Yeah, Jesse's heard enough, he was able to identify what it was. Somehow, they they acted on it immediately when he wasn't in agonizing pain.
Yeah.
Because it seems like that's what they respond to. They wait till somebody's in agonizing pain before they're like, oh, well, let's send them out. And sometimes they won't even send you out.
Yep.
I've seen dudes go in agonizing pain and they'll just give them Motrin or ibuprofen.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
No, I
They'll tell
know.
them, drink lots of water. That's
I'm
what
laughing
they
because
do.
I already know already. Yep.
Yeah.
For
Drink lots of
everything,
water.
man down, ibuprofen.
but-
What do they give you 800 or a 400?
So I always start with a 400.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't get to get no 800s. You're lucky to get 400s. That's what they that's what they kick out the 200.
Yeah, they give you 200 over the counter now.
Oh, they'll tell you, hey, they sell aspirin in store. We're only going to give you enough for a couple of days. You know, they give it in store.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So they somehow sent this fool to the hospital, and not even CTC. You know, CTC's like we have a hospital in the prison,
Yeah.
and it's Central. What is it? What does it called? What does CTC stand for? Just what does it stand for?
Central Technical Clinic.
That's a good guess, but I just feel like it was completely made up.
It might have been.
I feel like this fool just completely invented that term. But anyway, so it sounded good, and he's sticking by it. So anyway,
Yeah.
Central
Triage Clinic.
the Central something clinic, right? It has to be clinic at the end.
The Central Triage Clinic.
Yeah, so they send you there. It's like the hospital, and usually that's where you go back. The ambulance will come pick you up, and they park at CTC. They come and grab you in the ambulance, and they take you right there. They still bring you into the prison.
Hey, so Kay Larson, one of our viewers, put Central Trauma Center.
Central Trauma Center.
Is that does Kay Larson know this?
I don't know. Central Trauma Center.
Yeah.
Because really, if you got trauma here, they send you out.
Yeah.
I think it's triage. It's the triage center right here because that's what it's called. You go down the hall right there. Anytime you go to CTC for actual medical, other than like physical therapy and X-rays and stuff.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
You check in and out of the prison through medical. You have to go through triage.
There's something about this Kay Larson character, Jesse, that seems to know everything.
You tell Kate Larson.
This
Kate
Kay
Larson
Larson
got a
character
medical
seems,
degree. I don't want to hear it.
seems to know exactly.
Yeah. No, unless you got a badge or a medical degree, I'm a specialist here.
Yeah.
Hey,
No,
so
you could be right, but I'm pretty sure it's triage center.
hey, so
Yeah.
so when was
So they sent me out there.
so when was it that you got
Hold on.
your appendix removed? So I just want to know like the timeline.
I got it taken out on Tuesday.
Tuesday, okay, all right.
Yeah. So I have to finish my emphasis on what I was trying to say, right? Because I was emphasizing something and I was drawing it out, right? On how crazy this is that he somehow gets to a place where they're in his stomach with a scan, you know, and it wasn't to the point of extreme pain, but it was enough to where they sent him out to check. And they noticed those growths. Those growths right there, I believe that this happened, this if it's something bad,
Yeah,
saved his freaking life.
because they caught it early.
True, because people in prison, because in prison they don't catch your shits always till it's too late. Usually, especially something like that. And I just went last year for kidney stones, and I had a CT then,
Yeah.
and I didn't have anything on my lung or my liver then. So that's why they're kind of moving fast. They're going to send me back ASAP to get a biopsy now.
Yeah, think about it. He did not have these. The kidney stone story I told you guys about was not that long ago. He did not have these growths.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
And
that-
now they do. The one on my liver, they said it's so small, they've already ordered me to go for a sonogram. Hopefully they can get a better picture of it. But
But even then, right, the kidney stones. What are the chances that you were going to wake up with stones that day where they were going to have a comparison photo,
right?
within a reasonable time period to compare?
Yeah.
This fool, God has big plans for this Jesse the Nava character,
Yep.
because I haven't seen this type of accessibility to this type of medical care. Look, and I'm not talking crap about this place or medical and stuff. It's just, look, they have a lot of people here. There's a lot of people incarcerated in California. There's a lot of people on this yard. They can't jump and shoot every single person to the hospital that says that something's feeling a little off.
Yeah.
It's not reasonable. We would like to think that, but it's just think about all the money that would cost. And so the powers at will open doors for Jesse, and I believe it was all meant for something, because they're going to save this fool's freaking whatever it is. If it's nothing, it's nothing, and if it's something, they're going to get it before it turns into something worse.
Yep, for sure.
And this fool does not listen, James. He does not freaking listen to medical advice. I'll tell you right now. Fucker does not listen, man. He's on quarantine right now. This fool's got a lay-in right now. He's CTQ'd, confined to quarters. And the only thing that could keep this fool in this cell is the lockdown.
There it is.
This fool would not stay in the cell. They had to tell this fool, you're not supposed to be out, go back in. This fool's been walking around. This fool's working on shit. He's programming in the cell. His stomach is like 5 shades of purple.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
What it is, though, is they had me loped out on Norcos, so I didn't have to feel a lot of the pain.
The Norcos. Somebody was asking what they had you on pain for. Kay Larson was like, what they gave him for the pain after the surgery. So there it is. There you got your answer, Kay. They had them on the Norcos.
Yep, Norcos and 400 milligrams of ibuprofen. And they actually helped out. I didn't take them for 2 days because I needed to use the restroom, and you get backed up from the anesthesia and just taking pain meds, and because I didn't want my shit to be backed up too far. But once I used the restroom, then I went ahead and took them again. Now today will be the last day I take them, and then I should be good though now, because I'm pretty much moving around. The tenderness of it.
Yeah.
One of my boys down the way, he got hernia surgery about a couple months ago, and he was man down. He's like, man, I'm feeling like a pussy. I said, well, you were looking like a pussy.
He told me the same thing. He was like, because Jesse's, I'm serious, the next day he's out moving around and he's just cruising. And it was Martin that came up. Martin came up and he's like, man, I feel like such a pussy, man. I said, well, now you know how we feel about you, because you look like one. This fool is not skipped. Martin was like super extras.
No.
He was super extras, James. Like, he was like, this fool looked like he had fucking, like they had just emptied out his whole stomach.
Like he pulled out his donut.
Yeah. He came back from hernia surgery, and this fool couldn't walk, he couldn't move, everything was a grunt, everything. I felt super bad for him. Now when I see Jesse come back, he had 2 surgeries in one.
Hey, let me ask you. So I got a question from Kay Larson right here. They're asking how long does it take to get his surgery? So from the moment that they took him out of the CTC and to the time they took him to the hospital, how long was the process?
I got it the next morning. I got there to the hospital, to Pioneer Hospital, like around, I don't know, maybe.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I got to Pioneer Hospital like, that shit tore his ass up. Maybe maybe like around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I got surgery the following day at like 10 o'clock in the morning. And then they checked me out of the hospital. They weren't supposed to check me out of the hospital, I guess. And the prison had actually told them, like, hey, you guys can't check him out right now. And they're like, look, we don't have no bed space. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's got to go.
He's got to go.
He ain't got to go home, but he's got to get up out of here.
And then they tell him, well, we're gonna house you in CTC because there's an infirmary so he can heal a little bit. And he's like, take me back to my cell now.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, because they try to put me in CTC right here, which is the medical floor right here in the prison, the infirmary. And I was like, nah, we ain't doing all that. Put me back in my cell and we'll take it from there.
Hey, there's people that get housed in there in the infirmary in the prison for years, and that's where people die at. A lot of people die. There's a whole little thing going on in there in the communities in CTC. And that's pretty sad. That's how life in prison looks, James. Remember we were talking about it the other day?
Yeah.
That's how it looks. When you get old, they won't take you right away. You go straight to CTC, and if something bad happens, that's where it happens. you don't make it, fools fall out, they'll take you to the hospital, like they're not going to leave you there if you need medical care. But some people are just kind of just living out their time right there.
Their existence, yeah.
They got some place over there in CMC. You heard of that one, Jess? The hospital they had in CMC?
No.
It's like hospice.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because Maud Selly used to work there, and I never knew that place existed. They got hospice prisons, where basically fools are fucked and they're not getting out, and that's just where they go.
Hey, if Austin's still on the thing, tell him we said Happy Father's Day.
Oh, yeah, Happy Father's Day. Yep.
I don't think he
To
is.
all the padres. To all the padres out there, Happy Father's Day. We send ours.
That's right. Hey, and also,
And to
hey,
all their mothers.
that's what I was about to say. Those
Go
single
ahead.
mothers out there, you can't forget about them, because
Yep,
they're
single
raising,
mothers.
they're they're filling in both roles, mom and dad. Shout out
Yep.
to those single women.
All them,
Happy Father's Day to them too.
all the madre padres.
The madre padres.
Yep.
Always wish a happy Father's Day to all the single women out there.
Yep.
Because a lot of these women that are doing time with dudes in prison and shit like that, they're being the mother and the father.
Yep.
And my mom was the same way. My mom was a single mother, and she was doing it, holding it down for mom and pop.
Yep. Hey, we got a comment from Laura, and she writes, "Tell him we say Happy Father's Day too."
Thank you.
Becca also
appreciate you
writes,
guys.
"Happy
Okay.
Father's Day to you all." And shut
Appreciate you, Jack.
shut the
Thank
f
you.
up, writes. Shut the f up and make a wink, writes. Happy Father's Day too.
That's right.
Hey,
Yeah,
I love that name.
make it
That's
wink.
just what it is.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
I'm only sorry that you found that name before I did. Yeah.
Hey,
Make that
before
your handle.
before we get caught off, we had two individuals. We had its_Annie01, and we also had Jeanette. I know Jeanette's from Wales, UK. Annie, I think she's also from the UK, and they want to know if it's okay to write you gentlemen. They wanna correspond with you guys, and they just want to make sure it's okay before they do.
Oh, let me call you back.
Yeah, for sure.
I gotta give it this call.
Okay, all right. So they're gonna go ahead and be calling back, and you guys will get your answer. All right. So for those of you that are new here, these gentlemen there's two people I'm talking to right now. Their cellies is Jesse and David. They're currently located in the Centinela State Prison, which is located in the lowest region in California, which would be Central California. And I think in that area, I think they have like two or three different prisons. There's Donovan, Centinela, and Calipatria. But I think Centinela is closer to the border than those other two. They're calling back. I'm going to patch it on through.
This call is now being recorded.
I could provide you with the
Usted tiene
details.
una llamada prepagada de
I feel a little bit better, but I slept all day yesterday.
encarcelado en de la prisión
But man, this
estatal de
cough is not
Centinela,
going away.
Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
When do you
You have a prepaid call.
you
You
go
will not be
live call?
charged for
Normally
this
like
call.
on Saturday
Para
or Sunday,
aceptar esta
like around this
llamada,
time.
Diga o oprima ahora el 5.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello.
James. Yes, sir.
David. Yup.
Yeah, like we yep. No, like I mentioned before on here, right, is that you guys could contact us. You guys could reach out to us. We love talking to people, especially from all over the world, That's cool.
Especially Great Britain.
Yeah, you guys could hit us up.
Hello.
Like me, I'm hello. Like me, I am married. I'm married. Jesse's married. So we're not here like looking for like love interest or anything like that. But as far as like friendships or pen pals and stuff like that, like yeah, absolutely, you could hit us up for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So if you're interested in that and you want their details, you could send me a message and I'll go ahead and provide you with their names and their CDCR numbers and the prison they're located at. And I could also provide you with the link with the app that you could go ahead and reach out to them, which would be a GTL Getting Out app. The messages are 5 cents per message. They're not free, but it's a lot cheaper than a stamp. So I know a stamp for international shipping, I think it runs about $1.50 per stamp. So, and it's a lot quicker too. So let me see.
Do they let you?
What was that?
That's like, no, it's like it's like just texting, you know, pretty much.
Yeah.
Text messages.
That's cool. Yeah. So
Is it the same price like international on the Global Tel?
Yeah, it's the same price. Yeah, because it doesn't matter where you're at. It's just based on the app. So they charge 5 cents US. So I'm assuming maybe it's like because and I think the pound's worth a little bit more than the US dollar. So it might be like 4 pennies in the UK per message. And that's pretty cheap compared to other states, because I know other states, some states charge 25 cents per message. Some other states charge 50 cents per message. So it just varies. So California, I think they have some of the cheapest rates, in the country when it comes to messaging.
cool. Yeah, they
So who are we expecting to hear from? Annie and who?
Annie and Jeanette.
UK. That's cool. Send our respects to the UK. Cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of late over there. Huh? It's like 3 in the morning or early in the morning, I guess.
Yeah, it's about 8 hours ahead, so
Oh,
it's
what
about to
Time
be
is in
7.
the UK.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, but
About 3 a.m. I would say.
yeah. So anyway, but yeah, for the individuals out there that don't know, Jesse and I we're both cellies. We're currently incarcerated in prison in California. We're both here on indeterminate sentences, which means that we're considered lifers in the state of California. I was sentenced to 40 years to life it was for a homicide. Jesse was sentenced to 25 years to life for the same charge. So that's what it is. So a lot like we come onto this chat, we like to interact with people around the world. James gives us a great platform to engage with people that are curious about the prison system. Really, a lot of people don't really know what a lifer is. You see movies out there, and you see the guys out there in Angola, freaking working in the field with the horse and the shotgun. You know what I'm saying? Like you see the crazy prison movies and stuff like that. But it's like, look, we're real people just like anybody else. There are some crazy, fucking people in prison. There just is. Jesse and I, we used to be two of those people, and we don't glorify that lifestyle. We want to try to keep people from walking down the same path that we walked down to where we ended up in a situation like this. And so I guess that's the biggest takeaway from having this platform. If we can just reach anybody, if we can help enlighten people. And also there's people that might think, well, you know what? Maybe people do deserve a second chance. These guys are human. There's people that do recover. We do grow up. I became a gang member at 13 years old. Jesse became a gang member younger. I think what were you, like 11? Yeah, I mean, think about how old that. No, I'm serious.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's that young, and I was already gang influenced during those years. I already wanted to wear baggy clothes when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. That's when gangster rap started kicking off real big, and I was influenced by it. Everybody was wearing baggy clothes at that time. I grew up. Part of my childhood, I grew up in the Los Angeles area, in San Gabriel Valley, and then the rest of my my adolescence, I was living out there in the desert in Coachella Valley. So no matter where I went, it was there. I found it. I was influenced by it. We both grew up in the juvenile system. We were incarcerated as teenagers. Came to prison young.
I was just a soft guy in a hard place trying to get by.
You know what's funny that you say that is because aren't a lot of us, during those years, you're kind of like a little badass kid. Like Jesse was a badass kid. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, this little soft ass kid, this little powder nose, little
power puff ass,
little power puff, little youngin. No, Jesse was a bad kid.
Baby kid.
He was a bad fucking kid. Let me tell you what. But Jesse's a kind-hearted person. Jesse went through some messed up shit, man, when he was younger. That made him kind of like stiff-nosed to the world. But at the end of the day, most of us, we come into these institutions as soft ass fucking kids. Yeah, we're tough with guns in our hands. When you come into the system, you got to grow up real fast. You got to grow up real fast, and you got to protect yourself. How'd you feel when you first came in, Jess? Like knowing you,
I came in with something to prove.
you were like the Minions, huh? Remember, did you see when the Minions came to jail?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see that, James?
Nah, I
First
have.
time I came to juvenile hall.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I haven't
Go
seen
ahead,
the Minions.
Go ahead, Jess.
But go ahead.
I cannot believe it. I
No, I was-
can't freaking believe
I was just gonna say, first time I came to juvenile hall, I was so young that I was in the unit with the girls.
it. Yeah.
So I was loving it. You know, like it was just me and there was maybe like 5 or 6 other kids that used to always be in that unit with me. You know, we were too young to put with the bigger kids, but it wasn't long before I got moved with the bigger kids because I kept fighting.
That's Unit 1.
Yeah.
The place where he went into is Unit 1 has females and
12 and 13-year-olds or anything younger.
yeah, the kids that were in there, they all wore red shirts. The girls they wore like dark blue shirts at that time, and Jesse was in there with a bright red shirt.
I was there, bright red shorts, bright.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Which was cool because you got to hang out with girls, play, volleyball, and go to school with the girls. But that didn't, like I said, that didn't last very long with me because I was fighting. So they were like, "All right,
They had you guys. They had you guys locked in your own group room, or you in a single cell?
you got both. There was group rooms and single cell."
Because I was in Unit 2 when I first went to the halls right there. I started in Unit 2, and I was scared, James. I ain't gonna lie. I told you about it. My first experience. Like I was scared. I walked in and there's a gang of fools looking at me all crazy through the window. All the cells and shit. You go down like. I still remember the first person I saw when I walked into the halls. You know who it was? It was that fool Acevedo fool, Jess. His brother got killed in Coachella.
Yeah,
David Acevedo.
Yeah,
But because I knew who he was later.
Loquito.
Loquito was no, but it was
Loquito.
but it was his big brother though.
Yeah.
That's the first person I saw when I walked into. Loquito was the one that died.
Yeah.
Loquito was my boy, James. It was a good kid, man.
Yeah.
Yes, Loquito and Little Loquito.
Oh, Loquito was the big one. Yeah. So when Little Loquito was the one I knew. So I walked in and I seen him, and he's like, he was banged the fuck out. That fool was turned up ass kid, banging on me and shit. And you get your bedroll. You don't remember like the smell of the laundry desk? That shit always stayed with me.
Sure.
What?
It's
It's like a moist smell, huh? Or like a weird smell.
moist, stale laundry.
Yeah. It's crazy that all these years later I still think about that smell, and it's not a smell that you really experience anywhere else outside of that hall.
Yeah.
It's like a medical smell, right?
And Riverside had, medical, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Riverside had its own smell.
Yeah, every institution kind of has like a specific smell, like something different. It did, huh? Riverside had a weird fucking smell too.
Yeah.
But I just remember when I got that laundry and I smelled it, I breathed it in. It's just a weird smell, and
It's like between plastic and
moisture, plastic,
yeah.
cleanliness, but in a weird way.
Yeah.
With a sprinkle
Yeah,
of patas.
You get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of warm too, I guess. Like maybe it just came out of the dryer or something. Like I don't know. It's weird. It's hard to narrow down what that smell is. But when you get that laundry, you walk into the halls and you first turn into that unit. The whole unit smells like that. Remember unit 2, that hallway right there?
Yeah.
It has like a humid smell, like from the shower.
Yeah.
And you could feel like the heat in the hallway. Like you can tell when you walk into a juvenile hall housing unit. At stakes, like in prison, it's a different kind of sound and smell. But juvenile hall had its own little specific thing, And then they used to not let us wear our shoes in the cell. So the first thing you see shoes in front of all the cells. You see a bunch of kids kind of just looking at you when you go down the hallway. And there's cells on both sides. So it's like a hallway, and on both sides of you are cells. So when you're locked in a cell, you look out your window, you're looking right into somebody else's window. But the window's small. The window's probably only like, 6 inches by 6 inches.
If that.
Yeah, it's like a little square.
And most people couldn't see up through that window anyway.
Because it's just, everybody's
You can
on
only
the
see the
bottom.
top of somebody's head.
Yeah. Yep.
It-
And those cells, and it's crazy because what they put kids through. I was one of those kids. Go ahead, James.
Let me ask you. We got a question from Becca. She wants to know how long have you guys been locked up for?
I've been locked up for 15 years.
I got locked up last month.
Jesse's been locked up for 24 years, and I've been here for 15 years.
Yep. I've been here since 2001. 24 years. Yeah, my last year. I got one more year here, and I'm out of here.
Yeah, we're
years.
doing serious hard time, Becca.
You know, I had life without the possibility of parole before, though.
Yeah.
So any time that I'm doing now is a blessing because at one point in time I was never gonna ever get out of prison. So
Yeah. They reduced his term.
I went back. I got my case appealed. I went back to the county jail, and I took my case to trial myself. And I actually did what 3 lawyers and 2 previous trials couldn't do. And I got my case dropped to a 2nd degree, and I came back up. And it's a blessing for me. You know, unfortunately for, the people that I've harmed, their family and other, may feel that it was.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
That's why I do everything I can today to honor the man whose life I took, because I stole his opportunities. I stole them from his family. I cut his life short. And so for many, many years, I took his life for granted, my own life for granted, and today that's different. So I came back up with 25 years to life. I came back up with 15 years for 2nd degree and 10 years for the gun law, because I was under the old law because it happened in 1997. I didn't get arrested till 2001, but yeah.
So the way that they break down time in California for homicides is, it's kind of crazy the way that they do it. So when Jesse first got incarcerated, he was incarcerated. When he say, because we can't really say certain terms here because we get suspended from TikTok. It happened a lot in the past.
Yeah.
So it's not that we're trying to avoid certain verb. Well, we're trying to avoid specific verbiage so that we don't get suspended, rather than minimizing the crime or anything like that. So when he says 1st degree, 2nd degree, that has to do with taking somebody's life. 1st degree is premeditated. 2nd degree, but 1st degree it says with malice aforethought and premeditation. That's 1st degree.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
If there's another component to it, such as it happened because there was money involved, it would happen in the commission of a dangerous felony, or it happened during something gang related, then they'll give you life without the possibility of parole,
which is called a special circumstance, and that's what I had before.
Yeah, special circumstance. I'm gonna give you a call back there.
All right, cool. We'll be waiting. All right. So I want to go ahead and thank you guys. I see there's 44 people on one stream, 10 or 11 on the other, and we got a few on YT. So highly appreciate you guys, sticking around and listening to these conversations right here with these gentlemen. If you guys have any if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I'll go ahead and read them off, in the order they're received, if you will. These are real life phone calls. These are happening in real time. These are not AI generated. And you might be wondering why I'm not interacting. It's just because I like to, have them talk, and give them this platform to, speak and, speak their mind or whatever, they want to talk about. So, hey, Becca, thank you. And Teresa, thank you. I'll go ahead and check out my messages to check the message that you sent me. And here they are. They're calling right back. And let me plug them back in.
This call is now being recorded.
Hey, what up, 39?
David.
Hey, I've been a bit under the weather.
Un individuo encarcelado
hopefully it's getting better.
De la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
Cinco.
Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Oh,
Hello. hello.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up?
What up?
So, yeah, that's how Jesse got
stinky
sentenced
little
because
baby. You're a
they
stinky
said that it was
little baby.
when he was. That's funny. When Jesse was 17 years old, he took money to commit the crime that he committed. 17 years old, and so he was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. He went back, and it's crazy because even the years, the way the years, you know how the years work, James, with certain sentences.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. So his was committed in 2001. So when he,
No, mine was committed in
I'm
97.
sorry, 97. But when you got sentenced in 2001,
No, I got sentenced in
they weren't
2008.
they weren't given the gun enhancement in 2008.
No, because the crime happened in 97. The gun enhancement, the new enhancements came in 2000.
So any crime that was technically committed before 2000,
Yes.
even if you had to be sentenced under the year that the crime was actually
Yes.
committed. Oh, crazy! I thought if the law changed like during that time, that's how they have to sentence you now.
No.
Oh, yeah.
They sentenced you under when the law was, the crime was actually committed.
Yeah. So, yeah, Jesse, when he went back though, they had to sentence him under the same laws of that year. So when he got found guilty of second degree, they reduced it from first degree homicide down to second degree. The gun enhancement for that, like if there was if you used a firearm in the commission of the crime, you got a 10-year enhancement. So they gave him a total term of 25 years to life. That's the total term. Well, when I committed my crime, it was a whole different beast. So I got found guilty of second degree homicide as well, with the exception of there was a new law that was called when you use a gun, you're done. So if you use a firearm in the commission of a crime, they don't ever want you to get out of prison again. So they tacked on, they gave me 15 years to life for the second degree, and then they gave me another term of 25 years to life on top of it, just for the enhancement. So technically I have 2 life sentences for a total term of 40 years to life. So it's crazy that we're convicted of the same crime, different situation, but same, circumstances, I guess, and legal circumstances. But I got 40 to life.
later to play Hangman.
Yep.
I was originally sentenced to life without parole, but like I said, when I got my case reversed in 2008, and I went back on appeal, and I represented myself in trial, and I ended up getting a second degree the second time around. So,
we paid all that money for an attorney and got the same charge. All that money. I got more time.
yeah.
You should have had Jesse represent you.
Justice system.
I'm serious. I would have had. Oh man, you seen this fool go? I would have had this fool represent me quick. Super.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Especially now, after he's gone through this entire process of his own trial, that was a tester. That was his tester trial. Now this man could be a full-blown defense attorney.
Now I'm a certified paralegal. I'm ready.
Yep.
I'm ready to pass the baby bar.
Yep. This fool, he's got that shit figured out.
Hey.
But,
Hey, and go ahead.
I got a question from Teresa from the UK, and she wants to know, what would you tell your younger selves if you could?
I would beat that kid senseless.
Yeah. I would definitely tell the younger self. I would tell my younger self that it's not worth it. Stop and think about what you're doing. You know, the reality of it is you don't have to. We don't have to be validated by people on the outside. Find your purpose, because it wasn't the life that I lived was a complete farce and a sham, and it was horrible. So I definitely would say think about other people, think about your family, think about the pain that you're going to cause, because I hurt a lot of people along the way.
I would definitely tell my younger self that everything that I went through when I was a kid was not my fault.
No.
That it wasn't my fault. And I would have also, I guess I would tell my younger self to believe in myself, because I had no identity when I was a kid. I was chasing after whatever was going on out there, in society at that time. It was the gangs that were prominent in my neighborhood, and so I wanted to be a gang member. There was skaters around there. I wanted to skateboard, and I wanted to just belong to something. And that's the unfortunate thing, because realistically, I had the power within me the entire time to be who I wanted to be, independently of anything else. And that's what's unfortunate and very sad. I'm educated now. We've had opportunities in here to take college, and Jesse and I, we're both going to start working on our bachelor's degrees with San Diego State University. And I've always been told that I was smart when I was a kid. Everybody always told me, hey, you're smart, you're athletic. I've always been athletic. I've always had like a six-pack since I was a kid. I was one of those kids, but I just did not believe in myself at all. And I would just tell myself, believe in yourself. Pay attention to school. You could do whatever you want, but don't blow it for yourself, That's it. But it's crazy, because it would be a long conversation.
Yeah.
And right now that
I would have to concur with you on that also.
Go ahead.
That telling the younger version that it isn't my fault, that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. This too shall pass.
Yeah.
Go ahead, though, James.
So, and then right now that you brought up, education, we had a question from Annie, and she wanted to know, do they study while in there?
Pretty much all I do.
Yeah, that's it. We're both getting ready to graduate next semester with our associate's degree, with several associate's degrees, and we're going to be starting San Diego State for our bachelor's degree in journalism.
Right now, I'm taking astronomy 1 right now with the lab attached to it. And I'm taking a critical thinking and English class, which is great for me because I love writing. I'm a natural writer, storyteller. So I look forward to taking classes like that. This astronomy class is kicking my ass right now, but I love it. Yeah, I love the challenge. There's a couple things that we don't have access to a lot of stuff. We have to ask outside, for outside help. Professors, they have their way of doing things, but look, we're locked down right now. And it's hard to get answers right away when I'm doing homework, so that's the only difficult part. But like Jesse said, look, so when next month will be the last semester, and I'm getting 2 associate's degrees, and then in the fall we're both taking one more class that we need, and that'll lock in probably 5 more associate's degrees. Yeah, and to do that though, we put in a lot of work.
Hey guys, Crazy Lisa writes, tell them Crazy Lisa says hi from Scotland.
Hey,
you fought with Wallace, now fight with me.
Hey, Crazy Lisa is the homegirl. We don't know this Crazy Lisa. But no, that's cool. We said hi.
That's cool.
Right. Let me see.
How crazy is she is the question.
I want to know what's going on in Scotland.
I'm sure she'll share with us right now.
That's cool.
I got another question.
What else you got for us?
I got another question from Laura, and she's asking, how is it to experience the California earthquakes in there?
Well, we both grew up with earthquakes a lot. Anybody from California has gone through some earthquakes. So we really don't I guess I don't really think too much of it. When it happens, I kind of I just grab my TV. That's all I do. It's kind of I don't know. I really don't think too much of it no more.
Yeah, it's still a little scary, but for the most part, these buildings are on rollers, so we don't get the brunt of it. But yeah, it would definitely suck if the building did collapse, because we know we're stuck in here and locked in here, and there's nobody gonna come rescue us.
We're by a fault line here that goes off a lot. We're in the Imperial Valley, and there's fault lines that run through the Salton Sea and around this whole area. There's all kinds of fault lines right here. So we get quite a few earthquakes.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Hey, there's times where we get a bunch, James. And you don't remember, like, what was it, like a couple years ago, Jess, where we got like 30 earthquakes in like 2 days?
Yep.
They were all around the Salton Sea and Calapat right there.
Bunch of little rock on roll.
Yeah, it was a lot, James. We were rocking like every 15 minutes, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's funny is like, all right, so you never had like your cell phone on vibrate?
All the time.
Like
I keep it on. I keep it on silent.
But you've never felt like you thought your phone was ringing. You check your pocket when you didn't have your phone in there. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, they call that phantom. Phantom something. Yeah.
That time we had so many earthquakes. I had phantom quakes. I'm serious. I was right there. I was right here, like thinking, like I was like picturing there, like being an earthquake. I hear a sound, and I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Because you never know, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know if there's going to be an earthquake, and then all of a sudden you're just going to get rocked. Like, I've been rocked before. Remember, I was living in the LA area in the early 90s when we had those two big-ass earthquakes. The San Andreas earthquake. No, not San Andreas. What was it called? The one, the Northridge.
That was the one where that CHP cop ended up riding his motorcycle off the freeway, right?
Yeah.
That was like in 93, right? Like 93? I think it was like 93, right?
It was, yeah, it was around that time. Yep.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 91, maybe, or 93. I don't know. It was in the early 90s. And so, you know what's funny is that I don't remember hearing the story about the cop driving off the freaking road at that time. Did he make it?
I don't think so. I'm going to look it up right now. Let me see how my Twitter fingers work.
That's freaking sad.
Yeah. I think it was like in Simi Valley.
And then also, I remember hearing like my story that always stood was like I think some kid or somebody got crushed by a chimney that fell. Like there was a chimney made out of brick or something, and it fell up in like Northridge or some area up there, you know. And I always thought about like, man, that would be just bad luck.
Yeah, it was bad. It was 94. It was 1994 Northridge earthquake. January 17.
94, really? Damn, so I was hella old.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a kid, but because I went into the system. I went into the system in the 90s, 95, 96, somewhere around there. I was in the system at that time. So it's just crazy, but I was still young. I went in at like 14, 15 years old, somewhere around there. You know. But you know what's crazy is I think about how young I was, but I felt like I was older. But realistically, like we were kids in cells. We were in solitary confinement. We were super young. No wonder why we grew up all jacked up.
Yeah, it was.
In juvenile hall. Well, juvenile hall, they don't give you stuff in the cell. Like you ain't in a cell with no TV.
Nope.
You ain't got shit. Like you ain't got nothing to write with. No pen, no paper, no nothing. Sometimes, like, if you're lucky, like, you can have a pencil, but they don't give you that because they know you're going to write all over the walls.
In the halls? Man, I never had a pencil in the halls. Never, man. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And if we did have any belongings, like any deodorants or anything, that stuff was kept, like, in the cubby hole, and we could only use it, like, when we were showering. After that, other than that, it remained in there. Yeah.
Yeah, you had nothing. You just went in the cell, they closed the door, and then we just go right to the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shut the door, we go right to the window, we just look out. That's all we do in the hall. We just look out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we beat the doors.
And then the staff would come and they would, when we would do that in Central, they would come down and they would bring out the peppers. They'd be like, hey, if you guys keep it up, we're going to mace all of you guys.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Mace you and beat you.
Yeah, those are crazy times.
Yeah.
I wonder what, like, that's what I guess what I love talking to people out there in the real world, you know, about like how do they picture all this? You know what I'm saying? Like mass incarceration, the freaking solitary confinement of children.
So then that's a good question for Annie and who was the other one?
Yeah,
Scott Lynn and the other one across.
Crazy Lisa.
Yeah, Crazy Lisa and the other one. Like what brings you guys to our channel? What brings you guys to that collect call from?
Yep. I'm gonna give you a call back.
Here, we need some answers.
All right, for sure.
I'm looking for answers, and I'm heading to the world for them.
All right. All right. So, man, yeah, I got this cough, man. It won't go away. I know some people put on here, cut up some onions, put them on my feet, drink some lemon and honey. I tried all of that. None of that's working yet. Let me see. In Australia, the kids have it all here locked up. PS5s, pools, tables, TV. Sheesh. Man, they're definitely living the dream. Not in California. Sheesh. I think I see it as a lot tougher than the UK for sure.
This call is now being
Global
recorded.
Talent. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo
Red Onion and I play by your
encarcelado
bed.
en
She
de la
gators.
prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y
It
grabada.
works.
You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el...
Cinco.
Gracias por utilizar Global Talent.
Hello.
Yo.
So, let me see. Annie wrote in Australia, the kids have it. They have it all. They have it all here, locked up. PS5, pool, tables, TV. List goes on. And then Teresa wrote, I think
Damn.
that's what I'm saying. Then Teresa wrote, I think I see it. I think I see it as a lot tougher than the UK for sure. And then let me see here. And is there anything else? I think that's all it was for that one. But yeah, we ain't getting no PS5s over here.
No,
no.
look, the incarceration system in California is kind of like a land of its own. Every state, though, is like, if you've seen lockup and things like that, like, there's some crazy people that are doing shit in the state, but I think the prison system and the incarceration system is so big in California. There was 32 prisons at one time. They closed them down now, but that's a huge number of people. It was over 90,000 at one time. We're barely under 90,000 now, incarcerated in California. So there's a lot of people here, and that's not including the California Youth Authority, which is a whole bunch. It's juvenile prison, and all the juvenile halls and camps and placements and group homes, and like those are all levels of incarceration. When you're in a camp and you're in a placement and those kinds of places, you're locked up still. You're away from your home. You're in an institution, and so it's less restrictive, but it's the same kind of those are gladiator schools. You gotta learn to defend yourself, because one thing that we all do in here when we're kids is we fight in here like crazy. The juvenile system, we freaking chunk them. That's where I started learning the true meaning of the word putazos. Hey, you throw straight putazos in here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You fucking putazos is just like fisticuffs. What do they call a fight in the UK? I need to know. Or Scotland.
What do they call a fight?
Say?
I'll let you know right now.
I want to know. Like over here, we say oh, we're gonna chunk them. All them fools just chunked them. Like in our day, we say all them fools threw putazos.
So Annie's from where? From Australia? No.
Oh, Annie's from Australia, I think.
I think one of them said something about Australia, or no, was it Australia? Yeah.
So
when you say like over there, like oh, them. Go ahead. I want to hear.
Annie is from. They're from I believe from the UK. Hold on. Annie is from Australia, and then we have another Annie. It's Annie that is from the UK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I tried to count to 10 with an Australian accent the other day, and it didn't sound good.
Right.
Australia is what, like 15? It's like 12 hours difference or something over there, isn't it?
I think it's 18 hours.
Yeah, 18 hours.
18, yeah.
Yep.
They're living like a whole day ahead of us.
What are they doing? What are they
17.
doing in Australia for fun?
Right now, it's winter over there.
They probably play with what do you call it?
Dingoes. Playing with dingoes. No, I'm taking astronomy right now. So now I think of everything in astronomy terms. The Earth is in its tilt. it's tilted more in the northern hemisphere towards the sun, which means that Australia is farther away, and it would be colder there. It would be warmer in the western hemisphere. I'm sorry, in the northern hemisphere, and colder in the southern hemisphere. That's how I see the world now. Just so you know, James.
Hey, Teresa says, how do you guys picture the UK?
I ain't gonna lie. Like, okay, so I pictured the UK kind of like a lot of cheese. Like I do picture like real proper and stuff. But I seen that movie. I see some pretty ghetto shit in the UK. So I can't say, oh well, everybody's all proper over there, and it's like, yeah, good day. So yeah, I'm sure that happens. But I seen rugby. I seen some big old brute motherfuckers out there, and also there's a movie that was called Kingsman. Remember the Kingsman, Jess?
Yep. On right now.
Yep, the Kingsman. So when I watched that movie, I kind of seen that. Hey, they got like poverty over there. They got some poverty in some areas. They got some rough neighborhoods. And the only thing is that's different is like everything is, well, now it's His Majesty's, His Majesty's prison. I started noticing things like that, but it's still prison. So I can understand that they got incarceration, but I heard that they don't give life without parole or life sentences like candy like they do here. That's one thing that I heard about out there. But I think that I just picture big old motherfuckers, big old brute motherfuckers in the system.
Hey, so again, how did they find life? How did they find at Collect Call from, and what brings them to the channel? Are they first-time listeners?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, are they first-time listeners?
So
How
Teresa,
long have they been listening to the channel?
So Teresa, she's been on for a few months. She comes on because I do the court hearings with my commentary. So that's one of the reasons. So a lot of the people that came in from like the UK and Australia and whatnot, the smaller channel, for whatever reason, it comes up on their FYP, and it's because I opened up an account in the UK. So it's geared more towards the UK audience.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was the one for the court bookies?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, and then Teresa, she draws. So sometimes I'll jump on her and I'll watch her. She draws coloring books and she sells them, and then she also does like live coloring on her streams. And then
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
For the Love of Bonsai Road.
Super badass.
For the Love of Bonsai Road, it came up on her FYP. So FYP stands for front of your page. So when like you could hit on a button on your phone and it'll say live, and then you could just scroll, and then like people that are getting a lot of views, it'll come up on your screen. So you could just like stay there, or you could just keep on scrolling to whatever you find interesting. And then Leash wrote, she's from Australia. She wrote, stumbled in on a court hearing and stuck around for Silas. Let me see. Annie wrote, I'm new here, kind of. I do lives on Brian. She on a case, so I guess she kind of does like true crime.
Oh, that's cool.
She does true crime. Is that what she said?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
she follows cases. Like she follows like cases.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, tell her if she's looking for a true crime case, she could actually look up my case.
Yep.
And it might actually kind of be fascinating for her if she actually, because they've done a true crime on my actual case. It was called the Sculpture Park Murder in the Coachella Valley. But
yeah, we're both on Google.
Tell her to Google my case. Maybe she might want to do a true crime if she actually does a podcast on it.
Yeah, you can Google Jesse Dean Nava, and David Isaac Lopez. We're on there, our cases and stuff like that. There was like there was a lot that went into, the situations, like why we're both here, So that's crazy that you get to have this platform too, James, where you can bring like kind of like our voices to the world, and people get to interact with us. It's not every day that people around the world, you guys see stuff on TV. You guys might hear podcasts where they talk about the story. A lot of like Dateline and those kinds of shows. They always talk about the case and the situation, but you guys actually get to interact with two people that are involved in the criminal justice system directly, and we're both here for for pretty hardcore crimes. So that's I guess that's the unique thing that James has brought to you guys. Silas is the boy right there.
Yeah.
That's one of our good friends right there. Yep, I got a lot of love for Silas. That's my friend, my boy. Silas is in another building. So the reason why Jesse and I...
Silas is right here in our building.
Oh, yeah, shit. They moved to the 3 block now.
Yeah. I just seen a murder.
That's right,
Yeah.
Hey, he moved to 3 block probably damn, how long have you been here?
It's been like 2-3 weeks, no?
Well,
I don't know.
I was like, damn, months?
Yeah.
it's because we're always so busy and doing stuff. And I was used to seeing him in the building anyway, because he would used to move around the yard a lot because he was involved with incarcerated representation. I guess that would be the best way to put it. And he moves around the buildings, so he would be in here kind of frequently. But Jesse and I, we're in a cell right now. We're locked in a cell. We're in a cell that's about 6 feet wide, 9 feet long. And every cell here most of the cells in the state of California are made with two bunks. So Jesse and I were roommates. Well, Jesse's my friend, though. I've known Jesse since I was young, since I was a teenager. We know each other from before we both were incarcerated. And we both went through the system together, in the juvenile system and through the adult system. And now we're both here and we're both serving life sentences. So that's kind of like a unique, situation to be incarcerated with somebody who's like family. It doesn't feel like so bad.
The crazy thing about it, though, is we both, last time we've seen each other, we were both still living a destructive and dysfunctional lifestyle, and then we run into each other years later, and we're both doing the same thing. We turned our life around.
Yeah.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Getting educated, living a pro-social life.
Yep. I'm all about positivity. That's Jesse too. Positivity. And no matter what you did, you don't have to be defined by your past. It's just what it is. We were who we were. We can't change the things that we did, but we could change who we are today and tomorrow. And every day we can strive to be better. And that's just what it is. We take responsibility for why we're in prison, and it's time to heal and move on. If I have to spend the rest of my life in prison, then that's a consequence of who I was before. And there's nothing that I can do about it, with the exception of what I'm doing now, just living my life in good, orderly direction, just being a good person. If they open up the doors and they decide, hey, man, we feel like this guy's rehabilitated, he's no longer a threat to public safety, then maybe one day they'll let me go home sooner. If they don't let me go home at all, then that's just something that I have to live with. But I'm going to be happy, I'm going to be healthy, I'm going to just do what I do. There's the California prison system right now. It's been extremely violent right now, so we're kind of hyper vigilant right now. Go ahead, James.
I was gonna say Teresa had wrote a little bit earlier on that you guys should write you guys should write a book about your lives.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it.
I'm writing a podcast about my life.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it right now. Good. Fortunately, I am a writer, so I think it would be easier for me to do. But the only thing is, I would have to type it all out on a typewriter, and I'm not too enthused to do that. We got laptops because we're in college here, but we can't write a book on the laptop and then print it out. It'll kind of be stuck there forever. So they give us laptops so that we have Word, and we have PowerPoint, Excel. We have all that stuff on the laptop. But the only thing is, when we're done with an assignment, we have to upload it. We have Canvas. You know what Canvas is, James?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Canvas, but our classes, the classes we take here, because we have outside outside professors come in through the local college here
Mhm.
in the area, and then our class
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
we submit our assignments through Canvas most of the time.
Your work and whatnot.
You know.
Okay.
Yep. That's what it is. That's why they give us laptops.
Hey James, so what's her name? Does she has her own channel where she does true crime, or she just likes to watch true crime stuff?
I think she watches in and she probably makes like videos or whatnot of cases she follows.
Oh, content. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'll give you a call back, James.
All right, cool. Yeah, I got time for one more. So yeah, for sure, I'll be waiting for you. And then I got a few more questions from our audience here.
That's cool.
Hey, thank you for that, Leash. Highly appreciate that. Right there. So they are going to be calling back right now, and I'll go ahead and ask some of these other questions that you guys have for this gentleman here. It's so therapeutic. I wondered if they get the chance to do it. Yeah. Hopefully everybody's doing good today. It's Sunday. I got this whole week off, so you guys know what that means. I'm gonna be doing a little bit more lives than I've been doing in the past. So definitely be on the lookout. Starting tomorrow, I'm gonna be dropping them court cases on you guys. Hopefully we could do some Polk County cases. Those are interesting for those of you that tune in on those. It's Monday, 3:40 a.m. Yeah, it's very cold here. Happy Father's Day, James. Hey, thank you, Hope Dash Marie. Hey, Wetsun man, thank you. Hey, happy Father's Day to you as well. Highly appreciate that. Mind the gap, Teresa. Hello. Mind the gap, Teresa. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All right, they're calling back.
This call is now being recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Happy Father's
You
Day.
have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. So we had a question from the love of bonsai, and they're asking: is it true that prisoners cannot get paid for books they write and release while incarcerated?
I've heard that, and I honestly don't know, and that's kind of like why I hesitate.
No, it just depends. You can't capitalize on your crime. You can't write about your crime and actually gain financially, but you can actually, like Silas is a published author, and he can.
But what if we write the whole story and the crime is mentioned in a chapter, and then we move on from it?
No, you can. Yeah, you can do that. You just can't. Like you can't write
a whole thing about the entire crime. All right, well, there's your answer. Well, you want to go into business? You go into business. Write the book. Yep.
We got a comment from Wetsuit Man, and he writes, "Tell him Happy Father's Day, bro."
Appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Yep. That's cool. That's Father's Day, man.
James, you got COVID, James?
Nah, you know what? Actually, I've been sick for like 2 weeks now. I actually took a test last week because I thought that's what it was, and it came up a negative. So, and then I did a televisit today with the doctor, and she was just gonna give me some stuff. She just thought it was like a cough or whatever, but I don't know. It feels like it's a little bit more, because in the middle of the night I'm waking up and hugging noogies. So it's just it's pretty inconvenient. No.
Yeah, dear, that's disgusting.
Definitely.
Yep. But yeah, no, it's what it is. But now we're glad we got to call and spend some time with you, James. Because we don't know, man. I think these tablets are gonna go back off right now, or tomorrow, or who knows,
Yeah.
If you guys hit us up and we don't respond, it's probably because the damn tablet's off. But we'll always hit you back, It's cool, man.
For sure.
Yep. And then anyway, So what else you got for us? Anything else, James?
Yeah, Teresa wants to know: do they get the opportunity to do art and music?
Yeah, for sure. We got we could buy art supplies and we could paint in here, and we can't do music. Well, yeah, they got musical equipment here, but it's kind of the music equipment is mostly out of the church. But the way that my art is mostly through word though. Like I'm telling you, I have a knack for it. I got a knack for writing and telling little stories. That's how I paint pictures. I think actually, if I tried my hand at drawing, and sometimes I thought things came out really good. Others, not so much. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Jesse drew portraits. You never know with this fool.
You can do some portraits looking like Machete.
Hey, you know what though? I could draw a badass portrait. Like I can sit there, James, and I could draw a fucking portrait. And let me tell you what, it will not look like you, but it'll definitely look like somebody. Like you're like, all right, well, okay, cool. He drew a person. Well, who is it? I don't know. What do you call it? Art is to the eye of the beholder. That's what I'll say. Who do you want it to be? What's your pronouns? You know, that's what I'll say.
Hey, and I want to mention something. So Annie, she says she would love to hear your story. So if you guys, anybody that's in here that's listening to this conversation right now, and you guys would like to hear their more details on their backstory, from their earliest memory as a child to where they're at now. We actually interviewed them last or a little bit over a year and a half ago. If you guys go to @CollectHowFrom on YT, if you go to the playlist either under Jesse or David, you could listen to those interviews. It was hours of phone calls over a few weeks, and it gives a lot of details if you guys want to catch up on their backstory.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, they're on there.
Yep.
One of these days, I was thinking in the future that we should, because now that we're on TikTok and stuff, it'd be a little different now, though.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking about we could go through the timeline probably again, It's been a minute since we told those stories.
For sure. Maybe even on a video call so they could see you guys. Make it a little bit more interacting, where you guys could see the messages and interact with them like that also.
Yep. That'd be cool. Yep, something that we could do in the future. Anything other than that, we hope to hear from some of you guys. Love interacting with you guys. This is where we're at. And that's what it is, It's just we just gotta keep on pushing forward,
Yep, I'm surprised we didn't hear SoCal Fish Slayer or that's what I'm gonna tell you too. I heard Marlene was struggling with her health, so had some, not struggling with her health, but had some health issues. But just in case, just want to send a shout out to her and let her know she's in our prayers. She's a regular; she's always on here. So of course we miss her when she's not here. Definitely Chubby Jessica. Got to send a shout out to Chubby Jessica. Of course we send our love that way. Thank you for everything that she does for us. Who else? We got EJ, SoCal Fischler hasn't been on here in a while. I've been trying to get a hold of him, so hopefully I'm probably trying to call him right now when we hang up too. Call him and wish him a happy Father's Day. Iceman.
We've met some amazing people on this channel that are friends of ours that we met just like this. People calling in asking questions and stuff, and
very important people in our life today.
Yeah, they are, and we interact with them constantly. We call them; they are friends,
Yeah.
And
people we've met on here, they're going to be a part of our life forever.
Yeah, we got these tablets. We do have the ability to call out. That's what I'm calling on right now. I have a tablet that they gave us, and on the tablet I have email and I have a phone app on there, and the phone calls are free, so I can call
anywhere.
And so that's how we mainly. Yeah, I can call anywhere in the world for free, and so. We've called James all over. Man, James took us all over Europe one time.
Last year, yeah.
We got to see it on the video call. I've been to I've been to Puerto Rico with James. I've been to Amsterdam. Went to Amsterdam with James.
Yup.
I saw this water right there in Amsterdam where people fall in drunk and die.
the canals, yeah.
Yeah, people. Yeah, he's like, it was like a thing. I was like, "Damn, is that a thing where people just pee, fall in drunk, and die like in this canal?" You know, he's like, "Yeah, it's common." James took me to the red light district.
Yup. We went to the red light district.
I was like, man, this is very interactive. James, why is the phone vibrating? What's going on here?
You know what? I'm gonna upload that video. I'm gonna re-upload that video for the people because I know a lot of people that haven't seen those video visits, especially on the other account. So I'm gonna upload those. I'm gonna upload those videos to this other account so they could check out. You know, when we went all across Europe, man. We went to Spain. We went to Amsterdam. We went to the Czech Republic. We were all over the place. It was. We were out there for like almost 2 weeks, I think. And it was, man. I did numerous video visits with these guys, so they saw a lot.
No, because we got video. They're like video kiosks here. Those are expensive though. I mean, they're not that expensive, but they cost. You know, where we got a call. We get like one free one a week, but it's kind of like it's like Zoom. That's how we were able to do that. But it's pretty cool. Every time we try to do video visits out there with James, it seems like certain times of the night they cut us off. We get a freaking we get like an officer who that I don't know. They don't like it for one reason or another, and they freaking clip us. But hey, it's what it is. It's prison.
Tax blackers.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. But anyway, so I don't know how much time we got James on here, but I'm glad we got to spend some time. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be here for the next couple of weeks like this.
Yeah.
So anytime, whenever you want to run some calls and the tablet's on, I don't mind. Hopefully, on Thursday they'll be on so we could call. You know.
Oh, for sure, man. I'm hoping that would be great if they are. So. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't turn them off on us.
Especially because we'll be in the cell. You know, like we don't. Because I work. I go to work now at 7:30. Before I used to go to work later, but by 7:30 every day I'm at work. So if we do calls, it'd have to be like before that, you know.
Okay. For sure.
What time does they usually kick them out?
They normally I would say
get released?
I would say about between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m.
That's cool.
Yes.
Well, I mean, at least we could do some of the calls, you know.
Oh, with Pablo on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly doubt we'll be back to work next week.
Okay.
So we'll probably be here. I would be shocked, honestly. I think we're going to be like this until we're going to be on lockdown for the rest of the month. Yeah.
What do you guys think? Do you think they're gonna search the whole prison or every prison in California? Is that what you guys are thinking, or what's the conversation that you guys are having right now in regards to this whole lockdown?
That's what they're saying.
All the level 3s and level 4 yards.
Yep, they'll search all the level 3 and level 4 yards. Yeah, we're in a level 3 yard, so you know we fall into that. That's why we're on lockdown right now. It's possible, honestly.
Yeah. Damn.
Well. If they do, it sucks because they come and they tear our shit apart. We don't got nothing we're not supposed to have anyway, but it just sucks because they come in, they tear all of our stuff down, like they tear the shelves down. They mix all the stuff around, and it looks like a freaking hurricane hits the cell.
Man, they're about to tear up your Gucci walls.
We took all the Gucci down. Matter of fact, I just redid the bunks last night and today.
We got marble paper on the bunk.
We got black marble.
Yes, it looks good.
And
the cell's kind of hooked up now. The walls are all white now. All that Gucci stuff is down.
Yeah.
The walls are all nice. Everything's kind of like everything's painted nice. We got all the shelves up. This is like the worst time to get hit. They're gonna freaking tear all the shelves down.
Yeah, we just started to get completely situated in the cell, and now they're gonna come through messing with us again.
You know?
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
So we got about 3 minutes before this call comes to a conclusion. Any messages that you guys want to give to the audience before we part ways for the day?
Just happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there and the mothers who actually holding it down for the fathers and the mothers. Anybody who needs a special space, this is where we're at. That's it.
And if you guys want to hear from us, we try to do this weekly normally. Sometimes we'll go like a week if we have things to do without coming on. But if you guys want to hang out with us, harass James. Drop into his DMs and be like, look, where's Jesse? Where's David?
Yeah.
And that's it, you know?
Yeah, so these phone calls we try to normally do on the weekends, either on Saturday or Sunday, depending on what my schedule is and what their schedule is. So we try to work around that. So we've been doing these for the last year and a half, mostly on Saturdays and Sundays. So around this time or a little bit earlier, it just varies. But yeah, definitely be on the lookout. And if you guys do want to hear from them, let me know. And I'll bring you guys what you guys want.
Yeah, you guys can always, like I said, you guys can drop in on the tablets and hit us up. And that's what it is. But yeah, we send our love to everybody out there, and that spent this time. And thank you, James, again, for having us on. Thank you guys all for being here. Thank you, Australia. Thank you, UK.
There it is.
Appreciate you guys. Oh, and don't forget Scotland.
Yeah.
Do not forget Scotland. So that's cool. Crazy, Lisa. I don't think we're gonna be able to forget that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Teresa, we got a couple Annies. Yep.
We also got Canada. Can't forget about Canada either. We got Wetsuit Man up in Canada.
That's where he was coming from? What's up, Wetsuit Man in Canada?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah,
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Well, that's it. That means 60 seconds.
Yeah.
We are out of here. Talk to you later, James. All right, man?
Hey, like I said around here.
James, you have a happy Father's Day. Thanks for being here.
That's right. Hey, like I said around here, life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it's lights out. And with that, we're out. A rato. For you guys that like to watch court right now, I'm gonna cut the stream, but I'll be back like in 5 minutes. I'm gonna start up a court. Maricopa County's gonna start in 4 minutes. I gotta get some water. I got a cough. I gotta go get rid of this noogie, but I'll be back. All right. And somebody asked me, did you just randomly meet them, or you used to work in a prison? No, I've never worked in a prison. I actually had a buddy that was in that prison that hooked me up with them. I don't know them from the streets. I know them over phone calls and whatnot. But hey, I am Khaled Call James. You are watching You Have a Khaled Call From. Like I said around here, life is like a candle. Once you blow it out, it's lights out. But with that, we're out. But I'll be back shortly.